Plaintiff Gail Himmelman says the defendant was friends with her grandson, and she allowed the defendant to move into her rental property. However, Gail had no idea that the defendant was growing multiple marijuana plants in her basement, and she has the pictures to prove it. Gail's suing for rent, bills, and property damage. Defendant Logan Brickell says the only reason he moved into Gail's rental property was to help Gail's grandson. And while there, he made multiple repairs and also helped get the lights turned back on. Logan's countersuing for repairs.
Start with you. Give me some background on this.
Yes, I met Logan through my grandson, and they were friends. And Logan was every grandmother's dream of a companion or a friend for their grandson. Polite, well-groomed, well-mannered, everything seemed perfect. Very bright, more mature than the boys that my grandson hung around with. And I don't know if you're old enough to remember Leave It to Beaver and Eddie Haskell. I met an Eddie Haskell, and unfortunately, the other side.
I'm old enough to see the reruns, so.
So, my son and his family, including my grandson, were living in the home that I purchased, and my son passed away Christmas.
Sorry to hear that. How?
He had been ill. There'd been.
What age?
48, I'm sorry.
Sorry to hear that.
And my son and his wife and their two children, TJ and their daughter, lived in the house. Well, after my son died, my daughter-in-law couldn't live there. She was as bad emotionally as I was. And my grandson wanted to stay there, so I let him stay. And sometime, a few months after that, Logan and two of TJ's friends moved in with him. And I was okay with that. I still can't go to the house, but it's very difficult.
Defendant Logan Brickell is being sued by his former landlord, who claims Logan was growing multiple marijuana plants in her basement, and she has the pictures to prove it.
What was the agreement?
They were living there rent-free, Your Honor. And starting January 1st, that they each were to pay $300 a month plus the electricity.
January of 13?
13, yes.
But he had been living there as of?
In the summer of 2012, I believe.
Okay, summer of 12. All right, so now we have the background, and let's get to him, sir. What background you want? Yes, ma'am.
Unfortunately, Your Honor, I wasn't aware that Logan put in a major marijuana grow in my home.
That is not true, Your Honor.
When did he do that?
My son took the pictures. I'll show them to you. In the summer of 2013, Logan started asking me if he could buy the house.
Okay, well, we're going to get to that. I don't want you to confuse the subject yet. This is a lot of weed. I'm getting high looking at it. You're going to have to take this case over, door. I'm getting a contact high from looking at this. Sir, you give me some background. Before we get to all the weed, give me the background on you living there, when you moved in, when you began paying rent, what were the agreements?
Yes, Your Honor. The plaintiff is not telling the full truth as to the story. Her son passed away from a heroin overdose in Christmas 2011. I moved in to help support her grandson, Ty, who was a good friend of mine. We wrestled together through high school. I moved in. I helped get the lights back on. She left her grandson without lights, utilities, hot water, refrigeration.
Lights.
Nothing.
For that stuff.
Yeah, you got to have the bright lights for this, Doc.
Yeah.
You're right. Go ahead.
She left her grandson with nothing for over 8 months. When I moved in, I helped get the utilities
When did
back
you
on.
move in?
I moved in of July 2012.
Okay, like she said.
Yep, and I moved in. I helped get all the utilities back on, so I wasn't living there rent-free. The deal was I would help get the utilities back on for excess of $2,000 in exchange for reimbursement of rent, is what she likes to call it. As of January 2013, we were agreed to pay the $300 a month, and we also agreed to split the utilities the same way.
So she's telling the truth about this.
Yes.
Only thing she's not talking about is the manner of her son's passing.
Being ill.
We're going to leave that alone, sir.
That's fine.
Not going to open that back up.
I'd like to respond to that if I would have known.
You all said about what?
He's not telling the truth.
About what, ma'am?
How my son died.
Good enough. We'll leave that alone. And that's not an issue. And I
Your
don't know
Honor,
why you brought it up, sir. Now, ma'am, tell me what actually happened with your rent, the electric bill, and the property damage.
I have the electrical bill. It shows that he started paying it in January of 2013. In May,
there were 4 people living there, though.
But they made him the banker.
They gave him the money.
Gave him the money. And in May of 2013, according to the city light and the proof I have
Do you have
there,
anything saying that they gave him the money? Because he's going to say no, you know that.
Well, I know that.
Right, he's going to say, they didn't give me anything, Your Honor. They didn't give me the money and I kept it.
Well, this shows that starting in January, everything had been paid. And he will not have a receipt showing that he paid it. Also, in March, he called City Light, informed City Light that he had moved out and he was no longer responsible for the bill. City Light has given me the proof here. He did not move out until after I found this major grow operation. And
when did you find that?
Well,
the weed operation.
In August 29th.
But you said he moved when?
He didn't move until I gave him an eviction notice.
When?
He moved out the 1st of October, first part of October. I don't really know what
All
day.
right. What did you do when you found the weed operation? Did you go to the police? What did you do?
We were meeting him and his mother to discuss him buying the house.
Okay, so what ultimately happened, ma'am? Your son want to come up and tell me something about what happened when you all found out in August that he was selling drugs or growing drugs in the place. Sir, state your name.
Todd Love.
So what happened?
Well, when we met up with him, confronted him,
right.
him and his mom, like, with this operation going down there, what's it all about? And
you all answering this question too slow for me. You find somebody growing weed in your basement, you remember exactly what you said to him. You say, hey, what is this weed doing here? I'm calling the police.
That's right.
What did you say?
I just told him that what we found out about, and that just confronted him with it.
And
what did he say?
He wasn't surprised. He was trying to buy the house at the time, which realized why now, because he had the operation.
So when did you find the property damage?
I found the property
after he moved
damage.
Out?
Yes, after I went over there, and this is what I found.
Now, did all 4 move out as of October?
In September and October.
Okay, this just shows that they're nasty. Now, what about the damages? I need to see damages.
No,
Do you have anything?
The stove is burned up, and the cupboards next to it are burned up.
Show me that, because you gave me 20 pages.
I'm sorry.
And so show me the things that are actually damaged,
the
not
dog
nastiness.
chewed and
I see they got trash. I see they didn't wash the dishes.
The next to it.
Okay.
4 guys living together, that's never gonna happen.
Stay tuned. The case continues after this. Defendant Logan Brickell is being sued by his former landlord, who claims Logan was growing multiple marijuana plants in her basement, and she has the pictures to prove it.
All right, now do you have estimates for these things?
No, need an estimate.
All right, sir, let me hear from you regarding the rent, electric bills, and property damage.
As far as rent goes, sir, I do owe her for 14 days of September. I have a new lease right here from my new house that I moved out September 11th. September 14th, I never went back to that house, and I had all of my possessions out of that house before October. So I do not owe her for anything but $150 of September, and I do accept responsibility for 1/4 of the light bill, and I didn't pay her that because she owes me for the money I did for the work that I've done on her house.
Before we get to that, let's also talk about the property damage.
Yes, sir. I didn't damage her property at all. All I did was increase her property value tremendously. I added.
All right. So who caused these damages? Was the property damaged like this when you moved in?
Yes, sir. It was. I had to deal with that.
Tell me what was wrong.
I had to deal with that sort of mess times 10 when I first moved in. I took dump loads every day. I did the dishes as much as I could.
Not talking about dishes, we're talking about damages.
Yes, sir.
Like that needed to be repaired, not just moved out.
There was plenty renovations that needed to be done. I did renovations in the backyard. I refinished the whole entire basement. I excavated. They only had it halfway done when the house was built. I cemented the floor.
How about the vent? That's what I'm looking at. Show them this, please.
I am not responsible for any damage.
I didn't ask you whether you're responsible. You sound like somebody who was being convicted. I have not done it. I have not done it, Your Honor. They say I did it. I was not anywhere near the location. I was at home. I have an alibi. My daughter, my mother, and my sister will tell you, Your Honor. That's not what I asked you. Was it like that when you moved in?
I would assume that it was like that before I moved in because I'm not even sure aware of what.
You fixed everything else?
Yes, sir, I did.
So why wouldn't you have seen and fixed this?
We never used the central heating. We used wall heaters because we never had central heating, and I believe that's a duct.
Okay, is that true, ma'am?
Yes, because he removed all the
All right, and quite frankly, ma'am, this does look a little old. How long did they stay there?
Everything was brand new.
No, ma'am, this isn't brand new. We can stop that there, unless you have some receipts. In fact, you have no receipts for anything. So let's get to your counterclaim, $5,000 for repairs. How did that come about?
Well,
no, you're not throwing me 30 pages.
I was just going to say.
You explain to me first.
Yes, sir.
She already made that move. She threw the 20 pages at me and told me to figure it out. And when I told her to figure it out, she gave me 3. Yes, go ahead. Go ahead, sir. First explain.
Sure. I broke down all these receipts that I've done for the work on the house.
What was the agreement on the work?
The agreement on the work was that I would be buying the house. Eventually, the agreement came to that I would buy the house, purchase the house from them. When did you all make that agreement? We made that agreement, I would say, roughly, she approached me with that in around, I would say, May.
When did you agree to do
March,
it?
Probably July of 2013.
Of 13?
Yes, sir.
There was an agreement that you would buy it.
Yes.
As a result, you began making repairs. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, sir.
Defendant Logan Brickell is being sued by his former landlord, who claims Logan was growing multiple marijuana plants in her basement, and she has the pictures to prove it.
And the repairs you made were pursuant to you buying it?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you would not have repaired it had you not had the agreement to buy it?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, now you can give me the receipts.
Well,
Your Honor.
Now I can look through here and make sure that all of them are from July or beyond.
There's a breakdown on the front, Your Honor.
No, I'm gonna take a look real quick.
No problem.
We look at these dates. Ma'am, please.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So far, out of the sum, I haven't gotten any further. And I'm already up to 20, damn, 2. I'm already up to 40 receipts. And out of the 40 receipts, only 2 came after July 13th, when you made the agreement.
Yes, Your Honor. And
hold on. Why were you so generous toward her property?
Well, I was very eager to improve the property. 1, because I was living there. 2, because her daughter-in-law, Alice, which is my roommate Ty's mother, multiple times had reassured me that I would be reimbursed for any work I did.
The problem is, sir, you just gave me a totally different story. So therefore, I'm going to dismiss your claim and I'm going to grant yours. I've caught him in a big, big lie. Judgment for the plaintiff. Yours is dismissed.
Thank you, Your Honor. All I can say is I'm still was impressed with Logan. I was disappointed. I was hurt. And I was raised that we all make mistakes, but continually making mistakes becomes habits.
She's a scam artist, a horrible grandmother who left her grandson in the dark without any hot water or heat for 8 months. Horrible uncle as well. He even inquired as to how to continue the operation after I left. So they have no source of income. If they have a source of income, I'd be interested to see what it is, other than the fact that you guys are probably still growing pot.
Trying to get your criminal record expunged and don't know where to start? Go to my website, askjudgemathis.com, to get all the help you need.